Hello, everybody out there in Facebook land, TikTok world, YouTube, Instagram, anywhere there's going to be a recorded version of this. Welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I am Monty Anderson, your host here at 412 Productions, the art of Monty Anderson. And today's title is Brakes. Hitting the brakes. We'll get into that in just a moment about what we're talking about there. So, hopefully, everybody had a great weekend or the start of the weekend, the end of the weekend, however it goes. If you're going back to work today, I am sorry. All that goody good stuff. What the? Oh, okay. Well, is that what it is? I'm trying to figure out what the that is. Hold on just a second. What is in front of my? Oh, I know exactly what it is. Give me just 1 second. There we go. It was a little too close. I was trying to figure out what the hell that was. All right. On my recording over there, I had this blurred image going on off to the right hand side, and it was just like my left hand, your right hand. I was just like, what the fuck was that? All right. Anyway, it was my phone was too close to my other camera. So again, welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. Again, I am Monty Anderson, your host here at 412 Productions, the art of Monty Anderson, and we're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff today. From an ancient board game that most of you probably never heard of, to the NBA, the NFL draft, to what today's title really is all about, which is breaks. And we'll get into that. So, as all of you heard last show, I ended up getting a speeding ticket, which wasn't fun because $400 later, because I remember when they were like 175 to 210 for a speeding ticket, but now they're processing fee in there of $50 plus the fee itself of the speeding ticket. It's kind of ridiculous. So, but the city, I guess, needs their money, whatever, even though they're not getting it off the taxes, all that goody good stuff. So, all right. So the draft ended up finishing yesterday. Dallas actually cooked in this draft, much more so than they have in previous drafts. And I am going to have to turn on my air conditioner. So give me just 1 second. All right. So, again, Dallas cooked in this draft. Plus, they started cooking in undrafted free agency by picking up a few good men. Some people that everybody thought was going to get drafted actually got to undrafted free agency to the Dallas Cowboys, which was pretty exciting. On that note, it's two, especially the phenom tight end out of Baylor, Triggs. Uh, he was supposed to have come off the board during the draft, but he did not, and that's okay. So he is now in the Dallas locker room, which is awesome. So we ended up with 7 picks in the draft, and all of them are solid picks. If you go out there and look, if you're a sports fan and you follow, whatever sports team you enjoy, um, our draft class is in basically two different categories. Some people gave it an A, some people give it a B, but I give it a solid A for everything and everyone that they picked up in the draft. So that was pretty exciting. Um, and everybody was kind of surprised that Caleb Downs made it to where he landed. And he was pick number 11 out of the draft in round one. And everybody thought he was already going to be off the board, just like Sonny Styles was off the board. and unfortunately went to our rival, uh, the Washington Deadskins. And it's like, well, why didn't somebody pick him? Because there was plenty of our rivals that could have picked him above who they picked. So we did trade up one spot from the 12th spot and traded with Miami. And then later on, we swapped our 20th pick with the Eagles. We swapped back. We traded down. And we got the 23rd pick. And then we picked up another beast of a player, a defensive end in uh, Malachi Lawrence. So, two beast of a players in the first round right off the bat. So that was pretty exciting for Cowboys Nation. And just watch the tape on them. If you haven't, again, if you're not a sports fan, I get it. You're not going to go watch the tape, all that good stuff. Understandable. But if you are a sports fan, go watch their tape, which means go watch their videos that you can find anywhere online now, and see what they can do, because these guys are beasts and they're ballers. Um, then we pick up Jashawn Barham, another edge player out of Michigan. And we all know what's happened with Michigan players before. Taco Charlton, bust of a player. He was one of our first round picks. Thought he was going to be a phenom. Ended up being horrible. But this guy's different. He has a good range. He's a run stopper. And he is just another one of those freak athletes that fell as far as he did, in the draft. So, you got Caleb Downs, was our first pick. You got Malachi Lawrence, was our pick number 2 in the first round. Oh, look, Roy Boy just showed up. You got Jashawn Barham, which was in the third round because we didn't have anybody in the second round. Edge out of Michigan. Nothing like Taco Charlton. Let's just get that for real right now. And then in the fourth round, we picked up Drew Shelton out of Penn State, who is an offensive tackle, I believe. Yeah, an offensive tackle right there. And then also we had 3 picks in the fourth round because whenever we traded around, we ended up, whenever we traded back with Philadelphia, which I'll get into that here in a second. And good morning, Roy. We ended up with a couple extra fourth round picks. So one of our fourth round picks from the Eagles was Devin Moore, right here. He is what is he? A cornerback from the Gators from Florida, the Sunshine State. Then you got LT Overton, an edge out of Alabama, also in fourth round at 137. Another beast of a player. Good luck getting around him. And then our final pick, which is kind of like a well pick, but actually this was a good pick, was the wide receiver Anthony Smith out of East Carolina for the Pirates, right there. Um, Again, solid picks, and then our undrafted free agency so far has been pretty solid as well. We have picked up a couple of tight ends. We've picked up a couple of running backs. One of the running backs came from Tulsa, Oklahoma, close to my hometown. And thank you for the gifts out there. Thank you for the spiciness of the peppers. That's always fun. Um, he rushed for over 1,065 yards, I think, in his 2025 or 2024 2025 college season for what is Tulsa? I can't remember what there are right off the top of my head. But we'll see. We're gonna the positions we're gonna be watching really in the preseason stuff and OTAs and stuff like that are gonna be the running back position, the tight end position, and then of course the line of the new defense. Because and don't forget to like, share, and follow. And if you want to, you can join the fan club while you're here. There's plenty of options right here, right now, to do what you want to do. Um, So we're going to be watching a lot of positions in reality when it comes to who's going to be getting, wide receiver two, wide receiver three, how the rotation is going to look on the new defense, because the new defense 100% is, thank you for the gifts again. That's always very helpful. All the gifts that give the money back to here and that comes to me goes back into printing of all of the stuff you see like this. This is a print right here of an original painting. Like this is the original. That's a print. So I appreciate all of the stuff coming in because that all that goes back into that. Or if I get another speeding ticket, it'll go into that. um, so whenever the OTAs are kicking off, I think they kick off this week. Um, we're going to be watching all those positions. Now, right now, we're still finalizing some positions with getting some more undrafted free agents in, and then, from what I understand and hear on the Dallas Cowboy note side, is that we're not done doing some trades with some free agents and things like that. So, whatever team you follow, here it's the Dallas Cowboys, and hopefully your team does well. You know, not really, but sorry, I can't root for any other team, and I never have, unless it's a rival team or another team that's going against one of our rivals in our division. Anybody that's going against Philadelphia, I'll root for. Anybody that's going against New York Giants, I'll root for. Anybody that's going against the Washington Redskins, I'll root for. You know, but there's only one team here that I root for 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Getting all the minutes, all the seconds, all that good stuff. It's the Dallas Cowboys right here, all the time. All right, so now that we got the draft out of the way, now not a lot of people had a good draft. Let's just put it that way. There were some that people were scratching their heads about why they picked the players they picked in the beginning, and I scratched my heads too because there was a lot of great players. Now, one that is a sad story. He's out of Tennessee. He's a cornerback. He was like number 6 on the board. He didn't go until like the third or fourth round because there's a lot of concern with him about some degenerative something or other. I can't remember what it is, but it has to do with his bones. He's already had a bone plug put in his knee, and they are talking that he's probably going to have another one that could possibly end his career eventually. But that doesn't mean he can't play for a good 2, 3 years. But a lot of teams just didn't take a chance with him. Unfortunately, again, everybody thought he was going to be coming off in round 1 or 2, but he fell to like 3 or 4. So that's a value pick, but it's a risky pick at the same time because you get those players, unfortunately, that are injury prone, which means that no matter what happens, they keep getting injured on a regular basis. We had that with Sean Lee. We had that with Dat Win later in his career. We had that with, right now we're having that with Overshown. DeMarvion Overshown, a phenomenal talent, but we can't keep him on the field, you know. I haven't. I don't know if they have with him or not. So, but Overshown should be back healthy 100% from his injury again. But not, yeah, with that, I don't know. Just Judy. I have not myself. Um, but, I'm sure they've tried different things with him, but they did do a knee plug, which means they took, not cartilage, they took bone from another spot in his body and plugged it into his knee, you know. Well, that's cool. You had a torn medium meniscus and didn't want to have surgery, and they injected stem cells into your knee, and it worked. That's pretty awesome. I mean, I hear that there's a lot of cool stuff that happens with stem cells and things like that, but I personally haven't looked into it because I personally don't need it right now. Yes, I am an old fuck, but well, that's cool. That's awesome. And I'm sure that they do that with athletes on a regular basis. I would not be surprised if they didn't. But I don't know all the procedures and stuff like that that they use for the sports world out there, especially in the pros. You know, medial meniscus, yeah. And but that's cool that it worked for you. I'm happy that you didn't have to have surgery. You know, because having surgery takes a little bit to get back on your feet from. So congratulations on it working for you, and thanks for being here. We appreciate that. So we all know I do artwork here. We all know, I do homesteading here as well. I truly feel that stem cells are going to be our medicine of the future, and they could be. They've been working on it for a while, for a long while. And I know some people don't want to use it. Some people want to use it. I get the whole backlash to it all. So you got your pros, you got your cons, you got your people that don't do research. I get it. Sorry about that. And but yeah, as long as it worked for you, more power to you. Get out there and run a marathon if you haven't already. um, oh, that's what I was gonna do. I didn't bring it in here. Dang it! Let me go grab it real fast. Give me just 1 second. I'll be right back. Roy, did you keep them entertained while I was gone? Did you talk to them? Did you make them laugh? Did you fart in your hand or something? All right. So, just the other day, what was that? It was Friday, I think. No, Thursday. Thursday. Thursday or Friday. I can't remember which day it was now. But the girlfriend and I, we went out, grabbed a little bite to eat, and then we went over to a place called Savers here in Fort Smith. Appreciated on the chilies and things like that. Much appreciated for the spiciness that's going on the broadcast channel. And we went over to a little spot called Savers, which is on Rogers Avenue here in Fort Smith. And we do what we always do. We browse everything. And so as we get to walking around, we're looking at all the electronics. We're looking at the action figures and stuff that they have. We go and look at the electronics that they have because they've got two sections of electronics. They've got the big section where all the TVs, the uh, video stuff is, anything that's can be played on your wall or anything like that. And from there, we went over to the electronics section, looked through there. They usually have some cameras. They usually have, all kinds of stuff for your phones and stuff like that there. Then we walked over to another spot, which is your like knick-knack spot. Okay. And she looks down on a shelf, has collectible stuff on it and things like that. And she noticed something, one of her favorite action figures, one of her favorite animes. And so she picks it up, which was a My Neighbor Totoro clock. Well, she got to looking at it. She grabbed it, and we hadn't seen one like it before. And she did the whole Google search on it, and she bought it because it is one of the more sought after clocks that they have. This is it. It is made out of wood with its plastic interior, of course. Right here, right here. Still has the numbering on the bottom, all that good stuff. She picked it up for $5. $5. goes for anywhere between $120 to $260 online. So that was a great find right there. Bum, bum, bum. So you can find stuff out in the wild that are rare, because this one is one of the more rare since it is wood. The housing is all wood right there. It does have a little defect in it where something punched into it, but that's it. So there you go. And this is again her favorite anime, my neighbor Totoro. And so she got something that she really likes, and it probably still works. We haven't put the battery in it. It did come with the original battery that was in there. So, but if she wanted to flip this for a profit, she could. Real easy. $5 worth $120 to $260 online. So you too can find stuff like this if you go looking. So just know. All right. One thing that we've been looking for, that we've been playing, because thanks to my mother who owns it, and I just told her, hey, I'm going to borrow this so that we can play it while we're here at the house. We ended up going to her parents' house last night, and this is where part of the break section comes in. But before I get into that, let's get into what I was talking about with the Pittsburgh Steelers are a little salty with the Dallas Cowboys over the draft because of the war room stuff. Whenever they traded back with Philadelphia, one player that was on the board was getting spoken to by Pittsburgh, and then when Dallas traded back, Philadelphia took Pittsburgh's pick. Mackay something or other, a wide receiver. They're like, hey bro, your name just got called, and he's like, but I'm on the phone with the Steelers right now. He's like, no, you're going to the Eagles. And he's like, wait a minute, what's going on? It was quite humorous. If you haven't seen that clip, go find it. Um, it's all over the place. But I'm with Shannon Sharp and Ocho. Um, if you're at war with 32 other or 31 other teams, why are you tipping your hand at all? Why do you have a draft board that's in your war room that shows who your number one picks are? If I was going to be doing it, I would have names up there that no one would ever associate with who I was actually going to pick. And then I would have a list somewhere else on my iPad or whatever, be like, okay, this is who we really want. Whatever's on our board, that's not who we want. Because, again, if you are trying to play chess against everybody else, then why are you tipping your hand in your draft so that somebody else can come and take a player that you've got on your board? Because we see it all the time. I mean, we have seen full draft boards of the Dallas Cowboys, and I know I have because that's who I follow. I don't watch everybody else's boards. But you see every name that they have in the first round, second round, third round, whatever. And as those names get called, they take them off the board. Now, I don't know if they do a whiteboard now or if they do, like a digital board or whatever they do now. I'm not sure, what all they do anymore, because I haven't watched a war room in a hot minute. But I know that people still use the boards to say, hey, we want Sonny Styles. Hey, we want TikTok. I did not tell anybody to go anywhere to buy anything, you stupid motherfucker. Again, here we are going under restriction because AI thinks I told everybody to go and get something outside of TikTok, which I did not. I just showed a product that you could find outside of TikTok. TikTok has got to be the most idiotic place most of the time when it comes to their AI algorithm and what it picks up on. Just because I was talking about a clock that we found at a store, an old clock that we found at a store, and I was not telling anybody to go get anything from the store. I said you could possibly find something like this too. I did not say go buy outside of TikTok. Even though TikTok, you are not the end all be all of the shopping world. Okay? You do not have everything I want. You don't have my merchandise out there, and you never will. So, um, where was I? They pissed me off. And every show now, I'm getting a restriction or a violation of some sort. But don't forget to like, share, and follow as you get here, and enjoy yourself while you're here. Um, so yeah, so if it's the war room is where I was at. If I am doing that, I'm gonna have all these players that are like the lowest players on the board, in the draft as far as their numbers go of how they rank on the PFF ranking. And, I'm going to have the 237th pick, out there, whatever number they fall, 500, whatever. Those are the names I'm going to have on my board. But then I'm going to have my true list on my iPad or whatever that they use and be like, okay, this is who we want in the first or second round. If they fall that far, if they're gone off the board, then they're gone off the board. We go with somebody else. Just like Sonny Styles. Sonny Styles went off the board before we got to him because we did not trade up like everybody thought we were going to do. We did trade up one spot, but everybody thought we were going to trade up with the Browns or the Jets in second or sixth place position and pick Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs at the next pick. But that didn't work out that way. And that's fine. Sonny Styles is a good athlete, but Caleb Downs is the better athlete. He was actually a higher prospect than Sonny Styles out there. So there's that. Let's see here. I got 3 big commissions going on right now. And when I say big commissions, I mean one is 18 by 24. One is going to be 2 foot long by something or other. He's got to get me the full actual measurements on it. And then I've got one more that I'm working on too out there. So, lots of commissions in right now. And that's exciting and fun. Now let's talk about breaks. Yesterday I did absolutely nothing. Because if you watch the last show, and another gripe of mine is that if you don't watch my shows, and then you see a title of my show, and then you come at me and ask me what my show was about, because last show was mentally checked out. And as per usual, I put my title out there. Yes, I know who you wanted, and I know what else you want, but your other basketball and football teams can give that to you. You gross individual, Roy. And um, so again, I get another text message from the same person that asked me about one of my previous shows. And as I stated in one of my clips, I'm not gonna fucking spoon feed an adult what my show is about. Go fucking watch the show, and then you can, in the first 15 minutes, usually, my glove's got a hole in it. In the first 15 minutes, you can usually figure out what my show is about and what I'm talking about. Because my title, like right now, I'm 30 minutes in, and we're just getting ready to talk about what my show is about today, breaks. But this individual always comes at me whenever they see a title that is off the wall, if you will. I can't remember what the last title was that they, my dissatisfied to say the least, or disappointed to say the least. And so clearly they don't watch my show. And clearly they're not going to spend the 15 to 20 minutes to watch the first portion of the show to get what the show is about. Because generally that's where it's at. is my show is, everything is within the first 15 to 20 minutes, and then we get into fun stuff. Well, today we got into the fun stuff. We're still going to have some fun, but we get into this 30 minutes now, and we're now getting ready to get into the break section. But I am not here to spoon feed you. If you want to know what my show's about, either come on the live show and listen, or pull up the video, hit the play button, and watch the show. You're a fucking grown adult. Act like it. Quit getting spoon fed. Here you go. Here you go. I'll give you the answer if you just look at it. No, that's not my job. I do my job here. I do my job on paper. I do my job on canvas. Just like you supposedly do your job when you go to work. And I'm talking about the individual that wants to be spoon fed all the information from my show. No, go fucking watch the show and you can get the information. Okay? Quit being a grown ass pussy baby and watch the show if you want to know what the information's about. Rant over. Okay. So now breaks. Breaks. Most people, whenever they're working on a regular basis, take a vacation, take some off days here and there. Well, me being an illustrator, a disabled veteran, and a homesteader, my job is 24/7, which means I don't take vacations. I don't take breaks. And that wears on the body, wears on the mind, wears on the soul. And it makes you a grumpy ass, to say the least. Like I said, mentally checked out on the last show was I've hit a burnout stage, if you will, and it affects every aspect of life. Meaning that no matter what happens, I can still be in a funk, and that affects everybody: animals, girlfriend, all that good stuff. And whenever you get into that stage of you're so tired all the time, you're exhausted all the time, you are just worn out, everything seems like a task, it's time to take a break. It's time to set things aside, even if you can't. You have to, for your own peace of mind, for your own sanity. And that's kind of what happened yesterday. Normally, yesterday would be a normal day. I'd be in here doing something, trying to get some pieces knocked out while I've got some horror movies going. But we took a break. We went to her parents' house. We did some Indian tacos, and that's not a derogatory thing. If you know what an Indian taco is, or if you don't, go look it up. It's pretty cool. They're very yummy. It's just a big old piece of fry bread with your beans on it, with your meat on it, with your vegetables on it. And some people put ranch on it. Some people put some 505 chili on it. Those type of things. Different things, different salsas or things like that with it. But it's very good stuff. It's awesome. Way overpriced at the fairs. Let's just put it that way. Um, and so we ate, and then we played some games. Well, this particular game you cannot find. I mean, you can find it if you want to spend like 80 or $90 on it. But it is an old game made from Midwest City, Oklahoma. I believe 1980 something or other. I'm trying to find the exact date on here. There it is, 1983. I've been able to find two of these online that are still around. on eBay, and then there was another one on a game, some kind of a game website of some sort where you can find old games and stuff like that. Well, I put in a message to one person that had one for sale, but never heard anything back from them. So I don't know if that is even in existence anymore or what. But I sent two different messages to them, never got a response back from the person. So I don't even know if they use that handle anymore, if they even log into that page anymore, or anything like that. But it's a fun game. It's called Crazy Bee Rummy, right here. This is the original box. This is the original everything. Um, it's very old. You got your scorecards right there, and the cool thing is, what it is that you have all these different steps that you get to do. You pull up your step one, and it tells you what you get. Like step one is two books of three. Step two, a run of four and a book of three. Step three, run of seven. Step four, two books of four. Step five, run of eight. You get the picture. Six, run of four and a book of four, until you get down to the very last ones where it's run of 12, which means every card in your hand gets laid down, plus your discard that you just picked up. And then you've got your very last one, which is run of six and a book of six. So you're using all 12 of the cards you get dealt. Well, again, this is a very hard to find game made by B&B Games Incorporated, like I said, out of Midwest City, Oklahoma, which I think they're still in existence, but they do not sell this game anymore. This gives you all the rules at the very backside right there. This is Crazy Bee Rummy. I want to find a copy for myself, but this one might be it. I'm just kidding. It's okay, Mom. You're getting your game back. We're just going to play it in the meantime. Because everything is pristine in here. It still smells new, all that good stuff. But it is a fun, addictive game. Um, because we played 2 rounds of it yesterday. We actually took a break, went home, took care of our animals because it was feeding time by that point in time. And then whenever we got done with the second game, it was time to feed the chickens and stuff like that. Because around 4 o'clock, 4 to 5 o'clock, we feed the pigs. So it was a little after 4 whenever we got back. The pigs were already screaming at the back door. Um, and so we fed them. And then we went back after we, grabbed a couple things, and we ran back to her parents' house and played another round. We need to take breaks in our life, especially those that feel like we're just working all the time. And it's like you're going to feel it if you don't take breaks, don't take a vacation, don't do this, don't step away from your business or whatever. And it's good and it's okay to do that. You've got to let yourself know that it's okay to do that, because otherwise you're just working yourself to death no matter who you're working for. If you're working for yourself, if you're working for somebody else, if you're working for your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whatever, you have to take those breaks, because otherwise you're going to be like complete burnout, complete not pleasant to be around, period. Whenever I got that speeding ticket, it set me off even worse. And I wasn't pleasant to be around, was I, Roy? Um, so just just know it's okay to take a break, no matter what you're doing, no matter where you are. If you need to take those vacation days, take those vacation days. Don't be afraid to leave your team in a lurch because, oh, I need to take a vacation because I can feel the burnout coming. I can feel the crash coming. Get those vacations and those breaks in before the crash happens. Because once the crash happens, it's already too late. Um, and trust me, it is not pleasant for anybody. And they can be avoided if you just listen to the body. Listen to your body. You know how your body reacts to certain situations. Now, some people get more stressed out over things than other people. Some people are more in a depressive mood than others. Um, Anxiety, stress, all that good stuff. I get it. I understand 100%. Good morning, Tammy. How's it going out there? Are you getting ready for work? No, you don't work. You work on Sunday, don't you? Which sucks if you do. I'm sorry if you do, but hopefully you're not getting ready for work and hopefully you're just dancing around in your kitchen like normal. If you don't follow Love, go follow her. She's got some great content up there. She's an awesome person. Just like if Cajun Ballerina was here, you can go follow her. She's pretty awesome too. Not as awesome as Tammy, since Tammy's here right now. Off to work. I'm sorry. That sucks. I really wish you didn't work on the weekends because you're the boss lady. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to be like, whoosh, whoosh. You do my work. You do my work. You do my work. That's how you should be. Just like Jessica Rabbit here. Don't work on Sundays. Don't work on Saturdays. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you being here. And you go slay that work grind at the I'm not gonna say where you work, but you know where you work. And if anybody follows you, they know where you work too. So get out there and get that going. Make them work for it. I was gonna say make them beg for it, but that could be taken in so many different ways. Thanks for the likes, shares, and the follows. That helps us out here on the show. That puts us in the popular live category. We are missing one Poison right now. I know he's been a little under the weather, so I'm not surprised that he's not here, and that's okay. He needs his rest, and that's the break he needs. He needs the rest. And yes, I'm talking about Casey, who's normally here on a regular basis as well with us. Um, so just know that it's okay to take those vacation days. Know that it's okay to not take that extra shift because burnout is real. A lot of people don't believe in that, especially those that work for themselves because they're just we are just going, and we get to a point where we just don't want to go. We get to a point where, like I've had the past couple weeks, where it's just one compounding thing after another, after another, after another, and you don't see an end in sight sometimes. And you get to that burnout stage where it's just like nothing anybody says, nothing anybody does is right. It just sets you off. You're in a pissed off mood, you're gripey, you're angry. Much appreciated for more of the spiciness on the channel. Again, all of that spiciness will go back into the printing process, like you see above my head, right there. That is a print. It is out there. See, I can't even use the words I wanted to say. Otherwise, I'll get my restriction again. Um, but much appreciated, guys, on truly the chilies and the roses and everything like that because it does help. Every little bit helps out there, and I do appreciate it 100%. Roy, you're awesome. Uh, Unlike that dick that came on here, I don't even know who that person was that said some quote way back up in there. I wish I could delete them, but I can't. Um, it's just the the ridiculousness that people like to throw out on people's pages to see if they're going to read them and all that good stuff. Well, you catch yourself as you're looking at it over, and then you're just like, yeah, that's not getting read because it's 100% not true. Number one, because I know where I was last night. You were almost there. Send a message to invite gifters to come back. Why? Why do I? Yeah, it's not about the gifts. TikTok. It's not about the gifts. You know, I appreciate them 100%. We did achieve a goal though, a gift goal. So that's cool. Thank you, Roy. That's very awesome of you. Um, check the goal and celebrate the moment. Yes, we are celebrating the moment there, TikTok. If you would just pay attention, keep up and pay attention. Um, so we appreciate all of that has come in because it like I said, it does help. Now by the time I go look at everything, it's going to be like, hey, your 17 cents is ready, you know, and we'll give it to you at the end of the month or whenever it rolls over. Um, and I know a lot of other creators make a lot more than that. Just like the last show when we got gifted the Galaxy, that was cool. That did push us up to $3. No, you don't have to make up, and I appreciate it. Like I said, it all goes back into the printing process, um, and goes back into supplies because Lord knows I need more because these little guys are starting to run out. So if any gifters out there want to get me some more of these, that'd be cool. You can find them all over the place on TikTok Shop too, I believe. Um, where's my sugar mama at? Hell, where's my sugar daddy at? I'll take these from you, sugar daddy. All those people that talk about the pay pigs and the sugar mamas, sugar daddies, they're paying for their shit. Where's mine? Where's mine? I'll even take your cougar at this point. Uh, Lit Up Rose and 412 Productions Gifts Gallery. Thank you for the lit up rose. Um, but yeah, no, it's just know that whenever your body is feeling off, it's time to take a break. 100%. And I know not everybody gets to take a break or take a vacation the way they want to, but if you are able at any point in time to do so, please make it happen. Because you don't need to be working all the time. And I know some people that's how they feel, is that they are just wanting to um, lit up TikTok. Thank you for the lit up TikTok times 10. Um, some people feel like they just need to be working all the time, 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That's me. Okay. And what was that? Friendship necklace. Oh, how cute. Now, if it was Dallas Cowboys friendship necklace, that'd be cool. Um, and for those of us that feel like we have to be working all the time, or we're like a shark, if we stop swimming, we die. Take a break. Give yourself permission. Tell yourself it's okay to take that break. Because if you don't take those breaks, you are going to run yourself into the ground. Or you're going to chase off people 100%. Um, and if you're truly in it for yourself, for your person that you're with, be it a partner, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a husband, a wife, save everybody's sanity. Because if you don't, all you're doing is hurting your relationship with that other person. You're hurting your relationship with your friends. You're hurting your relationship with yourself. First and foremost. So just know that you can take a break because you want to have that balance out there. You need that balance out there. And you can find that balance out there. You just got to give yourself permission to get there. Because otherwise, you are going to find yourself by yourself. So just know that, and sometimes being alone isn't a bad thing because sometimes it's easier that way. You don't have to tell somebody else your problems. You don't have to tell somebody else your disasters or your woes or whatever. But you need somebody to channel to. You need somebody to talk to about what's going on in your life. You need that accountability partner, that accountability buddy, boy, girl, whoever it is, grandma, grandpa, whatever. Someone that's going to listen to what's going on in your life. Because otherwise, you just have everything balled up and you've got nobody to outlet it to. Well, now you're just giving yourself stress. You're giving yourself anxiety and depression and all this other stuff going on because you've got nobody to share it with. And so, you know, we appreciate you too, Roy. You know, I talk to Audrey, the girlfriend, a lot about different things. She talks to me about different things. And then, I've got other people like Casey and Roy and other people out there, a few other people, especially on the military side, that we chit chat back and forth about different things. Because we all have different aspects that we want to talk about. Roy's got a different aspect that he wants to talk about over what Casey wants to talk about. And I've got a different aspect to talk about than what those two have to talk about. And then the military side, we've got a whole different side of things that we talk about that we don't talk to most people about. Just because we lived through what we went through in the military. And civilians just can't understand what we went through in certain situations. Yeah, they see the stuff that gets posted on TV. They see the stuff that gets posted online. They see stuff that, all that stuff. But if you weren't there, you didn't live it, you have no clue. And even at this reunion, we ended up telling some new stories that I hadn't heard before on different aspects of things, and it just brings everything back into perspective. Not everybody has the same perspective, and it's like each truck had a different experience, in different situations. Like the firefight, each truck had a different view of what was happening. Just like the IED and the firefight all on the same trip, two different situations, everybody had a different scenario. And so, and it's just like the the security force that was attacked by a V bed, a wholly different experience for everybody. Mine was because I had my 5 minutes of fame. That's where my face was plastered on Yahoo News for ever, if you will, I guess. And sometimes that's not a comforting feeling to know that your face is plastered out there while you're in a war zone. And did I just put a target on my head? Those type situations come to mind. And, I do still have that picture to this day from 2006. And I don't know if it's still out there on Yahoo News or not. from back in 2006, but it very well potentially could be. Um, but nowadays it doesn't matter. There's so many other things out there that people are focusing on than my mediocre little picture out there that gave me my 5 minutes of fame that was unwarranted. I didn't want it, you know, but it was cool that I was the face of that situation that was going on. Um, my stoic look with my rifle across my chest, all that good stuff. You've seen it on my page a few times. It's there. And you'll probably see it again. Who knows? I know Memorial Day and all that stuff's coming up. So maybe I'll post it then again. But like everybody says, oh, Memorial Day's coming up. 4th of July is coming up. Oh, get ready for the I was a soldier meme and all that good stuff. All the soldier pictures. Well, be proud that you were a soldier, no matter what branch you were in. Brother to brother, uh, brother at arms, sister at arms. Be proud that you served. And I know there's some that didn't serve that wanted to serve, and then I know there's some that just never wanted to serve, but yet they gripe about all the service members out there. Well, get your ass off the couch, get your ass from out behind the video games, and go serve your country. And then tell me how gripey you are about the military. But in retrospect to it all, on the same token, I've heard that they are pussifying basic training. Because I know after us they got what was called a stress card or something. And if they were feeling too stressed out, they could present this card to the drill sergeant and they would hang it on their uniform somewhere or whatever. And oh, I can't yell at that enlistee right now. So I have to walk on eggshells around them because they're too stressed out to be here in the military. No, let's get back to what basic training used to be, where the drill sergeant could put hands on you, where the drill sergeant is going to yell and spit on your face because as he's yelling, spit's coming out, and he's nose to nose with you. Let's get back to the whole incidents that used to happen in the military, especially at basic training, because we don't need pussified soldiers. We need soldiers that can handle their business. To have a stress card, to be able to have your cell phone, to be able to have your tablets or whatever computers. We still had to handwrite notes. And this was me getting in 2004, 2005. We still had to handwrite letters to home while the drill sergeants were telling us all about Jody at home with our girls or our guys or whoever we were with. Because you did have females coming into the infantry at the time. And some of the guys were basically just females themselves. Not that they were transitioning or anything like that, but they were just pussies. And they shouldn't have been in the military anyway. That was an ultimatum for them. Either go to jail or get in the military. That's what it boiled down to. And they were like, "Oh, I'll go into the military." And then they get in there and find out I should have went to jail. Oh, fun times, fun times. But yeah, now to know that they get their laptops, their cell phones, their whatever gadgets and toys they can bring with them, they can have now at basic training. It's kind of ridiculous in reality because again, we got our one little phone call during the week, and then we got our, like I said, we had to handwrite letters to home, and it couldn't just be a single page. You had to do multiple pages. That was a requirement, you know, and that was on top of all the schooling you had to do while you were in basic training, because it's not all about the physicality of it all. You have you've got to learn you something while you're there too, and so you're going to these little classes that you're having to learn everything about, and then you put it into use whenever you get into the field. And since I was the old fart of the basic training of our section, because I was 33 years old when I joined, and then I had a 31-year-old and a 30-year-old in the same platoon with us. I became the platoon leader for all but 20 days, because you had some kids that were like, "Oh, we can do better," and drill sergeants were like, "Oh, you think you can do better? Okay, go for it." So I got demoted from platoon leader and back into the squad, and then within a couple days, they're like, "Anderson, get back up front." Okay, done. I had a 6'5" platoon sergeant who was actually a higher rank than me. I was an E3, he was an E4, and he was a volunteer firefighter. Like I said, 6'5", like 280 pounds or something like that. Huge dude. And during portions of the basic training, like the pugils, which is the big Q-tips that you hold in your hands, and you've got the headgear on and all that good stuff, you get to go against people in the circle. Well, I got to go against him. The first shot he took, he came down on my head, and I literally thought I was going to black out just from the hit. Kind of like when I got hit with the IED and my head went back. The It was all black, stars you see, all that good stuff in your vision. I literally thought I was going to black out and fall down. Well, I regained my composure, and then I ended up beating his ass because I got the style points. I got the points that I needed to take him out. Yeah, he got the 1 point on my head, but I got the rest of the points. So I swept that series because it pissed me off. That one little haymaker nearly knocked me out. On top of my head. I know it wasn't a haymaker, but it was a downward stroke. With that pugil stick, and oh my God, I'm not talking about violent and criminal behavior. You stupid TikTok. We're talking about battle tactics in the military at basic training. Again, here we are under violation. Because we're talking about pugil sticks in a circle at basic training. Now I've got two restrictions and a violation. Maybe I will just switch off of here and go to fucking Instagram from now on. They don't restrict me over there. I don't get violations over there. This is ridiculous. Every fucking show now, I get a restriction or a violation for something I say. And I'm not even talking about violence. I'm not talking about criminal behaviors. But yet that's what their AI gleans from what I'm talking about. All because I said I beat his ass with style points, with a pugil stick. at basic training. TikTok, you piss me off. 100%, you piss me off. Oh. And I see people talk worse than this, and they don't get restrictions or violations on their channels, on their lives. But yet I'm talking about real world situations with basic training, and yet I get violations and restrictions. Make it make sense, people. Make it make sense. I'm out of here. You guys have a great day, and I will catch you on the flip side. Have a good day, everybody. Because I'm not right now.